Charges have finally been filed in the Hudson family murders.
Just one day before he was to appear for a parole hearing, authorities charged William Balfour in the murders of Oscar award-winning actress Jennifer Hudson's 3 family members. Joining us again this morning is defense attorney Thomas Glasgow to kind of talk about where it progresses from here. So what's going to happen later? What's
going to happen today is he'll be taken before the judge, and what they will do is have a bond hearing. At the bond hearing, when you have, the state can file either a notice to or of intent for a death penalty, and if they do, then it becomes a no bond situation. If they don't file that, then what's going to happen is they will set bond in the case, and they will determine, exactly what his bond will be. Even if he's able to post bond of $1 million or $2 million, whatever it may be set at, he's not going to be able to bond out because of the parole hold that is currently in place on him that's been rescheduled for the 10th.
In terms of the evidence in bringing this case, one of the things we had been hearing is that police have his cell phone at the house or in the neighborhood at the time. But other than that, they really don't have anybody seeing him there, as far as we understand. How do they come to this conclusion in terms of bringing the charges?
Right. Well, we talked about this yesterday with regard to direct evidence and circumstantial evidence. In this case, you do have a great deal of circumstantial evidence. The state is probably going to present at the Gernstein hearing, the hearing to detain the defendant today, additional facts that are going to come out. Now, as of right now, what we do know is that he can be placed at the scene during the time of the murders. The weapon was found not far from the murders. The weapon can be linked to the actual murders of the 3 people. There is an admission by him to a girlfriend that he ended up committing the murders, and there's also evidence out there that's been reported that he ended up calling a girlfriend in Mississippi at 4 a.m. in order to go down there and kind of be secreted in Mississippi. Could you stay loyal? Me and my boys are going to be doing something or later today. And this was on the date of the murder. So this evidence may be adduced at the hearing today. It may not, because you just have to have the basic evidence to detain a person.
And they're still waiting for some DNA tests to come out. They do say they have some really, really good concrete evidence, though, so you have to assume maybe they have some fingerprints perhaps on the gun. We talked about this earlier, though. That gun actually belongs to Jason Hudson, one of the victims.
Well, it's alleged to have belonged to Jason Hudson, and the allegations are that Mr. Balfour stole it because it had been missing for quite some time. The gun was traced by ATF back to a house in Michigan where it was stolen. It did end up over in the Chicago area. This is where it was found. As a defense attorney, you need to start looking at who else could have done this, and that's something that a jury is going to want to know. What we need to look at is Jason with the prior drug arrests in 2002 at the house, where he ended up getting, I believe, drug diversion program, and when Jason was shot in Gary sometime between October 24th to I believe July 16th, somewhere in there, he was shot in Gary in the leg and refused treatment, according to friends and family. You're going to want to look at who else had a motive to commit this crime, because once the state presents their evidence, all of us want to side with the victim. All of us want to come to the rescue of the victim and say, look, we're on his side, unless there's some conflicting evidence to show that someone else committed this crime.
Okay, Tom. We shall see. As the saying goes, Thomas Glasgow, defense attorney, weighing in on the charges of the Hudson family murder case. We will definitely talk to you down the road.
Thank you.